Freddie here, another late one today. Essentially what I'm doing right now, this is part 4 of me documenting me scaling my client Annette to $10,000 a month with her online coaching business from complete scratch, right? So yeah, this is part 4, and in the last part I kind of spoke about how we made the market research hypothesis. In this video I'm going to be talking about how we actually carry out market research. So the first thing that we did was we actually tried to do the standard thing that I do, like as the first resort, which is putting up a story poll. Right, essentially we put up a story poll to understand what stage people are at in their journey, whatever journey you teach, or whatever it is, whether it's fitness, career coaching, business coaching, whatever it is. We always try and put up a poll to ask people what stage they're at in their whatever journey it is that you teach. And that basically gets people to raise their hand as the person that you want to speak to for market research, right? So for Annette, she wants to speak mainly to mid-level, like mid-senior nurses, right, who want to transition to like more senior roles, right? So we put up the poll and asked, okay, what stage are you guys in your nursing career? Are you more entry level, mid-senior, or more senior level? And then the idea was to get people that put in like mid-senior level and basically ask them a bunch of questions to get data around the ideal client profile. However, with Annette obviously having a smaller brand, having a smaller following, it just meant that we weren't getting enough engagement for that, or it would just take me doing it, a lot more time than needed to actually get the data that I needed, just get stuff up and running. So yeah, whenever we're setting stuff up, speed is always the best. Obviously we want quality, but speed is also very, very important. But yeah, since I wasn't able to kind of get the results that I needed with my first resort, I have to now resort to my, not as favorite method of doing market research, but it can still be a good method. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is I'm basically getting ChatGPT to do some deeper research into Annette's niche, as you can see here. Yeah, into Annette's niche. And yeah, it's basically going here, doing that deep research, and then I've given it all the questions I usually ask people in the DMs for market research, and it's going to spit out some answers, and then we're going to use that for building out the ICP sheet. And then the ICP sheet, we're going to use that for basically powering all the marketing campaigns, all of the ad scripts, all of the video scripts, everything basically. Now the reason why we always start with market research is because it powers everything. Like I said, without good messaging, like, you're gonna be like, this is how online coaches and stuff like that, they end up getting in these cycles when they just go on like a hamster wheel with content and sales and everything. It's because the messaging isn't right. With good messaging, you don't have to do too much. The messaging does a lot of the work for you, right? So the reason why we have market research first is because it allows us to get that messaging right, or at least mostly right at the first time, instead of scrambling after launching the program. So obviously with this method, it's not going to be 100% the way that we want, but it's just what we have to do right now, without wasting a bunch of time. So what I always like to do in these situations is obviously take this as like first base, first foundation, but when we start doing stuff like sales calls and stuff like that, we can take the transcripts from those sales calls and use that as data instead, because we're going to be doing like the questions we ask on sales calls are going to be like the answers that we get from those questions are going to be useful data that we can put inside of our ICP sheet and build out a more solid messaging system. So yeah, that's pretty much it, to be fair. Yeah, like in terms of market research, saying that all up, there's nothing much else for me to talk about, but yeah, I hope this was helpful in terms of what we do for actually building out the ICP sheet. I guess I can fast forward to when we actually build it out. Yeah, to be fair, I should fast forward to there, but before I do that, I want to kind of touch on why we actually go for the audience first, responses from the audience first for market research, rather than just going straight to AI. Now, the reason for that is because while AI can be very helpful, and I won't even lie, I won't even mind using it at first, it's just not as authentic to the real deal, right? And but what I mean by the real deal is like speaking to actual people, like speaking to people and getting them their unfiltered answers to the questions. And I feel like with ChatGPT, you kind of lose that a little bit. So that's why it's not like my absolute favorite option to start off with, but as a second choice, it's good enough to start off with. But I always will prefer having real authentic answers to the questions that we need answered to have good messaging systems. So yeah, I'm just going to fast forward to when the ICP sheet is built. Okay, so ChatGPT has outputted the information that I need from the deep search. Okay, so all of this data, right, is what ChatGPT has given me from doing that deep search. What we're going to do now is I'm going to take that data from the deep search and I'm actually going to put it inside of my own ChatGPT prompt that I've used to basically get the best ICP sheets possible for the best possible messaging. And I'm going to use this data to do so as well. So I'm going to show you what that ChatGPT prompt is as well, so you know what I'm talking about. All right, so I've got the ChatGPT prompt up and ready. So basically, I've got the output of the deep search, this deep search. I put that in a separate Notion document here as the output. And then I exported this Notion document as a PDF. And I've put it inside of this ChatGPT prompt. And then using this ChatGPT prompt, right, using this data, using this data right in this file, I basically put the file name here. And then I've got them to do all that stuff for the ICP sheet questions that I have inside of there, and then remind it to be 100% accurate, and giving it specific instructions to make sure that each section is as detailed as possible. First output here wasn't that detailed, so I got it to redo it, and now it's a little bit more detailed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this. Right, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it inside of Annette's ICP sheet. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to do that for each and every section of this ICP sheet until it's done. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to be filling in each and every part of that ICP sheet. And like I've mentioned before, this ICP sheet is basically like the bread and butter for the offer, right? All the video scripts are going to be inspired by it. All the content messaging, all the VSLs, all the ads are going to be based off of the data inside of this sheet. So this is definitely the most important, or if not, one of the most important documents for any sort of high ticket offer. Because one thing about selling high ticket is if your prospects feel as if you know their issues and them as a person, if they feel like you know them better than they know themselves, they're more than likely going to buy from you. So yeah, that's just why it's so important to do market research before anything else. So yeah.